right after that, I went through my very first public breakup. Now, most people after a breakup are like, I'm gonna get in better shape. But I was already in Creed shape. So I had to be like, all right, I guess I'll learn a new language. Anyway, estoy en raya. After the breakup, everyone thought I was so heartbroken because when the news came out, I was at a basketball game and they caught me looking like this.
You're such a young up-and-comer. Everyone's curious about you and your life, who you're dating, what you're all about.
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on there?
Yeah.
What's going on in that department?
I'm being humble with it. I'm being private. I'm putting the career and that in separate worlds. It's hard to navigate it today.
How do you do that? Because honestly, I mean, look, this is how it goes. You know, you go on a show, you talk about your project, but everyone's like, well, I want to know about this guy. I want to learn more about this guy. So
how do you create the boundary?
And I think that he, you know, I will say this, I heard about his ex and him was so serious that he may have missed her.
Damson Idris is finally breaking his silence, and the timing is wild. News is buzzing that Lori tried to slide back into Michael B. Jordan's life right when he's celebrating a huge Oscar win, and people are not letting that slide. It already looked awkward when Michael didn't respond after she reportedly reached out to congratulate him, but now it's getting even messier because her current situation with Damson is under pressure too. And seriously, what was the goal here? Why reach out like that when everyone knows you've both moved on?
Wow. I mean, I guess you just learn from the giants, you know, the people who did it before you.
Yeah.
And you ignore the paparazzi.
You do.
Can you go out for like a chill date? And
You can. There's ways around it. We have our special places that we can go to. But you know, that side.
Now we
have special places.
Wait, does that mean us?
We
No,
have
you
special
guys are
places.
really good.
Hit that like button, subscribe, share this, and drop your thoughts in the comments because this drama is getting real. Let's be honest, the move raised eyebrows everywhere. If someone is focused on their own relationship, why keep old numbers and make calls that reopen the past? It just doesn't add up. People are questioning the timing, the intention, and the respect for her current relationship, especially since rumors already say things between her and Damson haven't been smooth lately. This situation didn't come out of nowhere, and now it's looking like it might push things even further off track. And now Damson is in a tough spot, because no one wants to feel like they're second place or caught in someone else's unfinished story. Reports are hinting that this situation didn't sit right with him at all, and honestly, who could blame him? Relationships need trust and clear boundaries, and this kind of move just complicates everything. The pressure is building, and people are watching closely to see what happens next. On top of that, Michael B. Jordan just made history, becoming one of the few Black actors to win Best Actor at the Oscars, which is a huge moment. Of course, tons of people showed him love and support, but Lori being one of them caught everyone off guard, especially after what was reportedly said following their breakup. That contrast has people talking nonstop, and the energy around it feels tense. Was this harmless or something more? It gets even messier because this didn't just stop at quiet rumors. There's history behind all of this. Lori was even called out before when her dad, Steve, was seen laughing and having a good time with Michael at a basketball game, and that alone had people talking. So now, hearing that she was allegedly trying to reconnect again right after his biggest career moment, yeah, that caught everyone off guard in a major way. And if the reports are true, she didn't just try once, she allegedly kept reaching out, calling and texting, but Michael stayed silent and made it clear he wasn't entertaining any of it.
I think that's bullshit that they said that she wasn't ready, because when a woman finds a good one, then that's what you're looking for. But I will say that she's young still, you know what I mean? And I too was looking forward to them making it, because I thought, oh, you know what? She's been looking for someone to keep on her arm, to be able to have a relationship with that is meaningful and that's successful, because we know that the girl gonna keep her somebody that is gonna be newsworthy, you know.
Once this hit social media, it spread fast and the reactions were loud. Conversation instantly, throwing opinions left and right, debating everything from their past relationship to what this moment really meant. Some were saying he moved on for a reason, while others kept bringing up old rumors and trying to rewrite the story. But through all the noise, one thing stood out. Michael didn't respond at all. No messages, no public reaction, nothing. That silence spoke volumes, and it only made people talk even more. What really made people question things was the timing. An Oscar win is a huge milestone, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of moment, and reaching out right then had people wondering if it was about support or something deeper. Some believe she thought it could reopen communication, maybe even bring back a connection from the past. But clearly, Michael had a different mindset. He kept his distance and stayed focused, and that decision didn't go unnoticed. And just when things couldn't get more intense, new whispers started circulating that someone close to Lori might have leaked details to the blogs. Reports claimed she had been trying hard to reach him ever since the win, and that added even more fuel to the conversation. Now, people aren't just talking about the situation. They're questioning who's behind the scenes making it louder. And here's where things get even more intense. Word going around is that Lori had been trying to reach out long before that Oscar moment ever happened, and Michael still wasn't interested at all. Not one call answered, not one message returned, nothing. That kind of silence says a lot, and it makes it clear he already made up his mind way before all this attention came pouring in. What really has people talking is how different the energy is now compared to when they first broke up. Back then, it looked like Lori was completely in control of the narrative, moving like she had the upper hand the whole time. There were rumors flying everywhere, and she and her mother, Marjorie, were both linked to comments suggesting Michael had certain preferences that didn't match what people thought before. Since Michael stayed quiet and didn't jump into the drama, those stories stuck around and spread even more. And Marjorie didn't keep things subtle either. She posted a clip where Jennifer Lewis said, "If you sit in it for too long, it stops smelling." And people immediately took that as a shady message. It didn't take long for that post to get attention, and it added even more tension to an already messy situation. But it didn't stop there at all. Things only escalated. Right after that, Lori appeared to follow up with her own message, sharing a photo of a license plate that read, "Dump him," and that had everyone connecting the dots instantly. Then came the interview, where she spoke openly about her standards and what she wants in a partner, and people quickly assumed she was talking about Michael without saying his name directly. The combination of those moves painted a very clear picture at the time, and now, with everything happening again, folks are looking back at all of it in a completely different light. Now, this is where things really start to look questionable. Because when Lori and Michael were actually together, her tone was completely different.
We just really balance each other, and I really do believe in this statement, when they say, when you know, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that really applies to our situation, and, we just have a really good time together. He's so sweet, very attentive, he listens to me, the things that I say that I want, and he, really makes an effort, so I think that's...
She was speaking positively. Everything seemed solid, and there were no public complaints like the ones that started showing up after the breakup.
What's the sexiest thing or the sweetest thing he's done for you?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I honestly, he's really good at all the big things and, Valentine's Day, birthdays, all that. But it's the little things, the everyday things that I think really is what makes him special. He just listens to me when I talk. Even, the other day I just been saying I really wanted to go to a farmer's market. And so he called me one morning, Sunday morning. He was like, "What are you doing? Get dressed, I'm about to come pick you up." And he took me an hour away to this really cute farmer's market. We had the best day. So it's things like that.
That switch up didn't go unnoticed, and now people are putting those old clips next to what's being said now, and it's raising eyebrows fast, because this contrast is hard to ignore.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes!
That's his golden slogan for me.
Yeah. And what does that mean for you in relationships when you're like, I'm the prize? What does that mean?
It just means not compromising my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's no longer serving me.
What's got people even more confused is how all these criticisms about Michael came out later, yet she had no problem being seen with different people in the industry before and after. That's why many are saying this situation doesn't fully add up. Some believe Michael brought stability and something serious to the table, and now that he's leveling up in a major way, The timing of everything feels a little too convenient. It's like now that he's winning big, the energy around him suddenly shifted again. And let's not forget the real reason their relationship reportedly ended. It wasn't messy at first. If anything, it came down to different life goals. Michael was said to be ready for something long-term, talking about settling down and building a future, while Lori felt like she wasn't at that stage yet and wanted to keep things more open and focused on her own path. That difference alone can end any relationship, but looking at everything happening now, people are definitely revisiting that decision. What makes this even more interesting is how Steve handled everything. Through all the noise, all the comments and all the online chatter, he never publicly disrespected Michael or cut ties with him. In fact, when they crossed paths at a basketball game, it was all respect and good vibes, which says a lot. But behind the scenes, reports claim Lori wasn't too happy about that link-up and even wanted her dad to distance himself, which adds another layer to this whole situation.
See, I gotta be real careful because Lori, boy, she be in my... I can't make no mistakes. I can't make sense. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere, and I shook his hand. Boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex too. I must hate him like we was dating.
Meanwhile, Damson stayed quiet this entire time, keeping a low profile and not feeding into the chaos. But now, that silence is starting to break. And from what's being said, his perspective on everything isn't exactly positive. People are watching closely because when someone who stayed quiet finally speaks, it usually means something serious is coming. Now, this part right here is where the conversation gets even more intense. Reports are claiming that Damson isn't even shocked by Lori allegedly trying to circle back to Michael because he already had his own thoughts about her before they ever got serious. People connected to his side are now saying he didn't go into the relationship expecting something long-term, but more so keeping things light and fun. Now, whether that's fully accurate or not, it's definitely adding another layer to how this whole situation is being viewed. Like, subscribe, share, and drop your opinion because this keeps getting deeper. When you line up the timeline, it starts to raise even more questions. Michael and Lori split around mid-2022, and not too long after, she was already being linked to Damson by the end of that same year. They reportedly connected at an event, and things seemed to move quickly from there. For a lot of people watching, that fast transition stood out, and now it's being brought back up as everyone tries to piece together what really went on behind the scenes. Then things took another turn in 2023 when they reportedly hit a rough patch and briefly separated. At the time, there wasn't much explanation given, which only made people more curious. Now, new rumors are suggesting there may have been outside factors involved, including the possibility that past connections weren't fully closed. If that's true, it would explain why both of them stayed quiet about what actually caused that split. Even though they eventually found their way back to each other, insiders are now hinting that Damson never fully looked at the relationship as something permanent. Reports claim he already had doubts about where things were heading, and this latest situation is only adding more pressure. Whether those claims are true or not, one thing is clear. People are watching closely, and every new detail is keeping this story alive. And this is where everything really starts to come together. People couldn't help but notice that Lori wasn't even by Damson's side at the Oscars. No +1, no public moment together, nothing. That alone had folks raising eyebrows. Now, with all these rumors flying around, some are saying he only stepped back into the relationship casually, not taking it too seriously, and now this situation is putting everything on display in a messy way. If these reports are true, reaching out to Michael behind the scenes just makes things look even worse. Like, subscribe, share, and comment because this is getting wild. Of course, all of this is still alleged, but the public reaction has been loud and nonstop. A lot of people are already forming strong opinions, and social media has been going in. One person said, "Don't be shocked to see Lori Harvey's narrow tail in Michael's comments. She about to dump Damson like a bad habit. She'll swing whichever way the wind blows." And another added, "Lori Harvey, about to leave Damson Idris now that Michael B. Jordan, an Oscar winner. Those comments alone show how quickly the narrative is shifting online. What's making it even more intense is the idea that her own relationship might be affected by all this talk. If Damson really feels a certain way about what's been happening, that could change everything moving forward. And with people watching every move, even the smallest detail is being analyzed and turned into a bigger conversation. At the end of the day, this whole situation has people split. Some think it's all overblown rumors, while others believe there's truth behind the scenes that hasn't fully come out yet. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Damson allegedly reacting this way? And do you think this relationship is actually on the edge? Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't miss the next video, because this story might not be done yet.